Hello, Peter Knego here, sharing a wonderful bit of news from Carnival Corp about the new Golden Jubilee Lounge aboard the Carnival Celebration, Carnival's upcoming cruise ship, which will feature some memorabilia that I rescued from Carnival's earliest ships, the Mardi Gras and Carnival. In April of 2022, I flew off on the red-eye to Miami to attend the annual SeaTrade convention. As my Lyft driver sped along the causeway, it was great to see a healthy lineup of cruise ships at Dodge Island. After a devastating 2 years, cruising was in the midst of a major comeback. Held at Miami Beach's Convention Center, SeaTrade is where an international cabal of executives, pundits, and employees gather to share and celebrate all the latest things cruise. This year, the press room was host to several interesting seminars.
This is the Margaritaville maiden voyage at SeaTrade, so it's a very exciting year, and we're so excited that you joined us.
One of my favorite existing ships, the former 1993-built Costa Classica, has just begun a new career for Jimmy Buffett's new Margaritaville at Sea venture from Palm Beach.
Was there anything that really surprised you about your visits to the archives?
Well, the archives is incredible, and you can spend weeks there, touring through all of the archives. But there's
Cunard Line's North American PR director Jackie Chase hosted a fascinating preview of the Queen Anne with fellow Cunard rep Matt Gleaves and designer Lewis Taylor. There were even some nice architectural renderings and fabric swatches to give an idea of what the next Cunarder will be like. And Sea Dream, one of my favorite deluxe small ship cruise lines, discussed the complete overhauls of their 1984-built former sea goddesses, Sea Dream 1 and Sea Dream 2.
Also, we should point out the pool and brand new decking throughout the entire vessel, brand new furnishings, so all of these.
Hosted by CEO Roberto Martinoli and Chief Commercial Officer Barbara Muckerman, Silversea's conference revealed fascinating details about the asymmetrically designed Silver Nova, which debuts next year. One of my favorite things about SeaTrade is the exhibit area, which is filled with industry swag and some fantastic ship models, like this one of Explora Journeys Explora 1. There were plenty of them to ogle this year between Shipyard Chantier de l'Atlantique and Meyer Werft. For total ship geeks like me, there were even samples of decking and other types of hardware. And what a treat it was to see legendary former Chandris Lines and Celebrity Cruises executive Dimitrios Kaparis in the flesh. But my main impetus for attending this year was the Carnival press conference, where we could finally reveal an exciting project that's been in the works for years. Carnival's president, Christine Duffy, warmly welcomed us and set the stage for Glenn Aprile, Carnival's director of Newbuilds.
I hope you've all seen this beautiful new blue livery that we've been putting on all of the Carnival ships. We've had a lot of dry docks, and the ships come out with this new blue livery, and I think we've had so much positive feedback from our guests, and we certainly think it really adds a lot to the ships. And I think we've got a quick video, and then I'm going to bring Glenn up, who's going to talk about the special area that we want to highlight for everyone today, and a bit of the story behind that. Then I'll come back up, we'll take some questions, and we'll call it a wrap. Okay, over to you, Glenn.
Thank you, Christine, and hello, everybody. So in the spirit of celebration, a carnival celebration, we're proud to reveal to you the Golden Jubilee. This is a really special bar and lounge, unlike anything we've ever done. And it celebrates the evolution of the Carnival fun ships, from the original fun ships of the 70s all the way to the innovative Carnival XL class that we have today. And it celebrates our ships as destinations. In this lounge, you'll have live music that our guests are accustomed to enjoying, tasty drinks, but you're going to be surrounded by elements that represent the evolution of our fun ship fleet, which I'll walk you through now. As some of our fantasy class ships have retired, we've taken the opportunity to remove some of the items from those ships, and they will be on display within the lounge, and I'll show you some of those in a bit. We also have features that came off of our original ships, the original Mardi Gras, the original Carnival. They came from the collection of Peter Knego, who is here with us today. Some of you may know him.
We're glad someone collected all of these things.
He's a travel writer, maritime historian, and fellow ship enthusiast. Many of these items came off the ship, I want to say, in the early 2000s, and we've been in touch on and off. I know he's always dreamed that one day these pieces will be back on board Carnival ships where they belong, and we're really excited, and we'll explain some of what we have there. Peter has documented the collection of these items. We've been trying to document the collection of the items from Peter. So we have pictures of them as they're leaving his home in Southern California, and I'll explain some of them in more detail. For those of you who have been on board the Mardi Gras, we're in the space that goes where the brass magnolia is, but now we're in the Golden Jubilee. So we have a stunning bar that sits within a space with a 2-deck high ceiling, and you're surrounded by a mural. And actually, if you measure the mural of blueprints that goes all around, it's about 120 feet long, and showcases the evolution of Carnival fun ships, from profiles of our earliest ships to our newest ships. And we've also integrated architectural plans that were done by hand by longtime Carnival architect Joe Farkas, who designed most of our ships, from the early ships all the way through spaces on the Carnival Breeze. And actually, if you have a chance, we have a sample of one of his drawings you can see up close on that board after. While his drawings were technically accurate in terms of the need for the yard to use them to build the ship, they're also works of art with the way they were done, and you'll recognize some of the fun, entertaining features of our past Carnival ships. Some of the items that you'll see in the space are inspired by motifs and features from the original ships. So in this case, in the example, I'm pointing to the floor tile surrounding the bar, and you have a Canadian maple leaf motif integrated into the design. And that was inspired by the section of what you see in that photo there is a section of a railing that came off the original Mardi Gras. That's in Peter's house, and it used to surround the balcony of the Grand Ballroom in the Mardi Gras. Why Canadian maple leaf? Because some of you may remember that the Mardi Gras was originally a Canadian Pacific Line ocean liner, Empress of Canada. So when we acquired the ship, we also acquired elements that point back to the ship's heritage. So we've incorporated some of that here. In the design of the bar itself, we have glass inserts that are inspired by these glass inserts that were part of the doors from the original lobby of the Mardi Gras. We also have them integrated in the model display. These were the doors that guests would pass through when they were boarding the Carnival on embarkation day, and we've extracted the originals and we'll put them on display in the lounge as well, so our guests can understand and appreciate why we've incorporated that design into the bar. The bar menu itself will be inspired by, if you see on the left, there's a picture from the Carnival, and you see one of the vintage bar menus sitting on a cocktail table. So we're playing off of that and creating a menu for the Golden Jubilee that on the cover, you'll look through a window and see an early version of the Carnival logo, and then when you open it, it unveils a stylized version of our iconic twin funnel, which is our logo today, and you'll have an opportunity to read through a narrative about the Golden Jubilee and all that you're surrounded by within the space. In the space, the chairs, which explains why we have these chairs on the stage. The chairs are actually replicas of chairs that we used to have in the Riverboat Lounge on the Carnival. So if you look there on the left, that's the original chair from Peter's collection, and this is a prototype. So it's not the final chair, but it gives you an idea of how we're replicating the original chair. We're changing the dimensions a little bit, making sure that it's comfortable and all of that, but it'll be something that's in the lounge inspired by the ships from the past. This is another view looking out towards the promenade, and you see the bar on the left, you see where we have the stage and the live music, and now we get to some of the big pieces, particularly one that I'm very excited about, which is this 17-foot-long, full-height partition that came off of the original Mardi Gras, thanks to Peter collecting it now nearly 20 years ago. This piece is a curved glass wall. It has 24 windows on it, and it's framed by mahogany and nickel, and then 12 of the 24 panes of glass have etchings of various Canadian flora. The picture doesn't do it justice. It's a stunning piece. In that picture on the left, you see where it was on the original Mardi Gras. It separated the casino from the main stairs, and now on board Carnival Celebration, it'll separate the Golden Jubilee from the adjacent promenade. It's hard to see this in the rendering, but take my word for it. In the back corner, right behind the bar, we have those original brass doors with glass etchings of musical instruments that came off of the Carnival. And it was originally the doors for the entrance to the main nightclub on the Carnival. Now these doors will be there, permanently propped open. So if you're coming from the zone next door, Celebration Central, this could be one of the ways that you enter the lounge. So you have an opportunity to walk through a piece of Carnival history as you enter the Golden Jubilee, at least through one of the entrances. Another piece that we are really excited about also, thanks to Peter acquiring it, is that engine telegraph. That engine telegraph is in the center of the promenade. It originally came off of the Carnival. It was on the port side bridge wing. There it is. The next picture on the top left is the telegraph in Peter's house for a very long time until we acquired it recently. We polished it up. We put in some new light bulbs inside. And you'll notice that we set the arrow to the all-ahead full position. Because when you're in this promenade, everything is pointing forward. The ship model of Carnival Celebration points forward. The coins, as you go from the 70s all the way to the modern day, progressively go up as you walk forward. The dioramas go forward. It's all symbolic of Carnival's forward movement. So that's what we have for today, the Golden Jubilee, and we'll open it up to any questions you may have.
Knowing your love, and you must be thrilled at what they've done.
It's a dream that took 20 years to happen, and it is absolutely what I envisioned. And I'm just so happy for the team at Carnival for seeing that and doing such a beautiful job and putting these places where other people can enjoy them. Yeah, so yeah, I got goosebumps.
You must have a big house, Peter.
It's very big, but still not big enough for all the stuff.
I just wondered if there's any other place in the world that has such a repository of Carnival history. This has got to be a first.
Aside from the ship in my house, I don't believe so, no.
But we have taken a lot of things from the ships, as you know, that have been retired in these past 2 years with COVID. So I think we've learned that these items are really important and meaningful. And so, Ben, I think your team, I mean, there's a lot that we've collected, right?
Yeah, my office is starting to look a little bit like Peter's house, but warehouses, we've kept a lot.
And you may recall when we revealed Celebration Central, which is the new edition of the atrium, we have the bar on deck 7 called Aquaria, and we've incorporated the glass murals from Luciano Vistosi, Italian artist, that we had removed from the Carnival Victory before the conversion to Carnival Radiance. So there'll be a lot of fun sprinkles of our...
We could have a scavenger hunt on the app where you could go and find the memorabilia.
That would be great.
That's actually
Yeah.
a great idea.
Yeah.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
That would be great.
Okay, let's get on that. Scavenger hunt. Anybody else, anything we can answer? Yes.
A few quick questions. First, can you explain the statue up front? I'm interested in it.
Yeah, that's...
I'm very interested in it.
Yes, so every single fantasy class ship has on board a gift that's presented by the shipyard upon the delivery of the ship. This was a gift that was presented by Caverna Yard upon delivery of the Sensation in 1993. And it's actually a bronze statue of Ted Harrison, together with Martin Sarikangas, who was the co-founder of Masa Yards. And I'm really glad you asked us.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Now, are we gonna see that on Celebration? Is that
Yes, it'll be inside, it'll be on display inside the lounge.
That's so awesome. And then will we see, so the other ships that are being retired soon, are we gonna be seeing some of those artifacts come off? Maybe not to the Celebration, but to future ships?
Stay tuned, you never know. I'm hoping for the, when we get Celebration here and we have the new terminal, that might be another place for some of the artifacts that we have from Carnival ships over time that Ben is collecting in his office, so.
And now for the backstory of those classic ships and some of the rescued artifacts. Carnival's first ship, the Mardi Gras, was launched on May 10, 1960 at the Vickers Armstrong Shipyard in Newcastle, England. Originally Canadian Pacific Line's Empress of Canada, the two-class ship was built for Liverpool to Montreal service and part-time cruising. By the late 1960s, as the airliner decimated sea travel, Empress of Canada spent more time in cruise service. Her latter-day green livery and stylized funnel markings would prove handy when she was sold to newly formed Carnival Cruise Lines in 1972. Renamed Mardi Gras, her Canadian Pacific livery was slightly tweaked with new red, white, and blue funnel colors that formed a large C for Carnival and a red instead of green hull stripe. And yes, on the starboard side of the funnel, the C was backwards, but this is how the Carnival logo originated. As the Mardi Gras, she was beautifully maintained and wildly popular, paving the way for Carnival to become the world's most successful cruise line. In 1993, the Mardi Gras was sold, and after a short stint as a casino ship, she became Royal Olympic Cruises' Aprile. The unexpected collapse of the Mediterranean cruise industry in the wake of 9/11 caught up with her, and in late 2003, she was sold to Indian shipbreakers. In early 2004, I paid the partially demolished ship a final visit and rescued many of her treasures. One of those treasures, a 17-foot wall of etched glass, mahogany, and nickel, will be showcased in the new Carnival Celebration's Golden Jubilee Lounge. Originally designed as the aft bulkhead for Empress of Canada's first-class Mayfair Lounge, the curved wall survived rough Atlantic crossings and 3 decades of lively cruising. Under Carnival, this room became the Showboat Club Casino, and under Greek ownership, the Monte Carlo Casino. The wall featured 24 panes of glass, with every other panel boasting an etched Canadian floral motif. It was a stunning example of mid-century British shipbuilding craftsmanship and something I had admired during my many visits to the ship over the years. While visiting the then Apollo in India, I asked my friend Kaushal to negotiate its purchase and safe removal from the ship. Six months later, after careful packing and crating, the disassembled wall was offloaded from a 40-foot container into my Southern California driveway. With the help of a large crew, including ship enthusiast friends almost as crazy as I, the wall of glass safely made it into my garage. Unfortunately, it was too large to fit properly in my home, which was already filled with ocean liner artifacts. Of course, I offered it to Carnival, but at that time it was felt there was no viable place for these. So I consigned the ensemble to my friend Dennis Bozis of Off the Wall Antiques, who ran the annual Los Angeles Modernism Show. Dennis reconstructed the wall and displayed it in the lobby of the Santa Monica Civic Auditorium, steps away from a piano from the Coronia, for the 2008 Modernism Show. Although there were no buyers, the ensemble was used in a television commercial before finding its way back into my garage, where it survived various minor earthquakes and a move before Carnival's Glenn Aprile called and asked if it was still available. In the fall of 2018, they began their next journey to Florida and eventually the shipyard in Finland to be fitted aboard the Carnival Celebration. Another Mardi Gras nod in the Carnival Celebration's Golden Jubilee is the maple leaf pattern in the tiles surrounding the bar area. As Glenn mentioned earlier in his presentation, they were inspired by the railings in Mardi Gras' Grand Ballroom, which was originally Empress of Canada's Canada Room. The first class or balcony level of this room, which would become Mardi Gras and Aprile's main showroom, featured 6 Art Deco-style maple leaf insets, 4 of which I sold, leaving 2 here in my home to be enjoyed for perpetuity. Carnival's second ship, the Carnivale, was originally the Empress of Britain of 1956, the first all-new post-war liner commissioned for Canadian Pacific. The rise of air travel quickly rendered the first post-war Empress redundant, and she was sold to Greek Line, who renamed her Queen Anna Maria. Italian architect Gustavo Pulitzer Finale supervised her conversion in Genoa, where no less than 4 pools were added to her afterdecks. Along with the new show lounge in her stern, those 4 new pools would serve the ship well during her 18-year career as the Carnivale. If the Mardi Gras established Carnival, it was the success of the Carnivale that led the company to expand into the vast empire it is today. Unlike the Mardi Gras, which remained mostly original throughout her entire career, the Carnivale was vastly modernized in 1990 by architect Joseph Farkas, who covered up much of the elegant woodwork with bright zigzag color schemes and Tivoli lighting. After a brief stint for Carnival's short-lived Spanish-speaking Fiesta Marina cruises, the ship was traded to Apiratiki and later Royal Olympic Cruises, who ran her in the Aegean as the Olympic. In 1998, the venerable ship was sold to Topaz International and renamed the Topaz, sailing for Thomson Cruises and later Japanese-based Peace Boat until looming SOLAS regulations forced her retirement in 2008. At the ripe old age of 52, she was sold to Indian shipbreakers. That summer, she was beached to be demolished next to her one-time competitor, the Blue Lady, the former NCL Norway, and originally French Lines France. As Glenn Aprile mentioned earlier, a pair of doors from Carnival will be located forward of the Golden Jubilee bar, to be permanently propped open so guests can symbolically walk through time. They were part of a bulkhead of etched glass, brass, and maple, forming the aft entrance to Carnival's Mardi Gras Lounge. Originally Empress of Britain's Empress Room, this space was last known as the Topaz's Windjammer Lounge. Each of those glass panels featured acid-etched musical instruments to celebrate the room's initial use as a ballroom. After their removal from the ship, I consigned the stunning and stunningly heavy ensemble to Off the Wall, who offered it all for sale. Remarkably, it did not sell and was eventually returned to me. While the panels are now part of my new home, the doors and transom have thankfully found a new life with Carnival, where they will be enjoyed aboard the Carnival Celebration for years to come. Although difficult to see in this rendering, the Golden Jubilee bar will feature etched glass insets inspired by those from the Carnival's Purser's Lobby doors. In that 1990 refit, the bird's eye maple paneling was covered in formica, but the etched glass insets were thankfully left intact. This is how they looked after I restored one of the doors for my home. Some of the doors had rectangular insets. I believe a combination of both types will be used in the bar. They were part of a large parcel of treasures I rescued from past Carnival ships that will hopefully find their way back aboard future ships or on display in a cruise terminal or two. Another prize from Carnival that was especially hard to part with was the ship's solid brass port bridge wing Chadburn telegraph. This magnificent piece has been polished up and has had new lighting installed for its new life with controls set to full speed ahead. The telegraph will be situated on Carnival Celebration's promenade amidst other items celebrating Carnival's rich heritage. But that doesn't mean I won't miss having it in my kitchen nook where I admired it for many years. And last but not least are those chairs from Carnival's Riverboat Lounge that are being replicated for the Golden Jubilee on the Carnival Celebration. They were actually added to the ship in 1964 during the Queen Anna Maria conversion in Genoa. Designed by Gustavo Pulitzer Finale, these stylish Albania chairs can fetch thousands in the mid-century design market. Most were thrown out in a 1986 refit, but some were thankfully tucked away in the officers' quarters. Only 2 of these were left when the ship was scrapped, and they are now part of the Carnival archive. And that, my friends, wraps up the Golden Jubilee backstory. I hope you enjoyed this, and if so, please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share.